Hey everyone, this is Bob Gardner with Messengers of Hope Mission, and I want to welcome you to the Messengers of Hope Mission podcast. Today's podcast is brought to you by Glistening Glass. Glistening Glass is my company. It is a window washing and gutter cleaning company. I service the northern Tampa area and the southern western Pasco area. If you're interested in having your home windows cleaned or your gutters cleaned, now is the time to call 813-404-2300. That's Glistening Glass. All right, everybody, this is the point in the podcast where it is the call to action. Yes, we've reached that point where I'm going to call you, the listener, out to come work with Messengers of Hope. It might be, if you're local, that you can come and volunteer with us passing out food at one of our locations, or you might want to come to our warehouse to help separate food, sort it out into the different boxes so that it is ready to go, bag up food into grocery bags for those times that we don't have time to actually let people shop and people come up in an emergency situation so we can give it out right away. Or it might be something as simple as helping us clean the warehouse, getting things organized. There's all sorts of things we do, such as emptying a freezer. We have to sometimes take everything out of a freezer so we can defrost it and clean it before we put stuff back in. That is something that we need volunteers to come help with. There's all levels of stuff. It could be stuff that children can do. It could be stuff that adults can do. There's heavy lifting. There's light lifting. There's everything in between. So don't be afraid to come out and work with us. Of course, maybe you're not local, or maybe you are local and you don't want to volunteer. Well, one thing you can do is donate to Messengers of Hope. We always are in need of finances. We have our rent that we have to pay. We have all of our normal bills. And just because we're a nonprofit doesn't mean that we're exempt from paying these bills. Just like when your electric goes up at home, the rates that you're raised, so are ours. So we have to cover the difference in that. So this is the point where I'm asking you to get involved and ante up. So this is the time to do it, and we appreciate everyone that does. As I've said in previous podcasts, I want to give a shout out to people that donate to Messengers of Hope Mission via the podcast. Now, just because you donate via the podcast doesn't mean you have to have a shout out, but if you'd like to have a shout out, you can put on the memo line what the shout out is for. Put podcast and then what you'd like shouted out. It has to be a short line. It could be something as simple as the church you go to, or maybe you have a loved one that has passed on and you want to donate in their name and give a shout out. We love to be able to do this for people. We love to be able to share with the people that do give to Messengers of Hope. And this week we have Chuck L., who made a $50 donation to Messengers of Hope because of the podcast. Thank you so much, Chuck. And yes, Chuck L. was the name given on the check. Thank you so much again, Chuck. And that's going to do it for today's podcast. This is Bob Gardner with Messengers of Hope Mission, wishing you all a great week.